fellow dreamers. Welcome to the Lost in Dreams podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Minzy. I say with love that my guest this week might be a little too talented. They're a songwriter, producer, performance artist, and fashion designer, just to name a few. In the past few years, they've grown from opening for me to landing spots at Oceaga. This is the wonderful Russell Lauder. Hello.
Hi.
Russell Lauder, how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming on the show. It is such a pleasure to have you. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host, Joce and I.
Hi, Joce.
Hey.
And Dylan. Hi, Dylan, obviously.
Hey, Russell. Do you dream?
Do I dream? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
You dream? Cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I was like, no? That would be a short interview.
Well, yeah. I mean...
Okay, bye. Yeah, I do dream.
Nice. When you dream, what are they mostly happy dreams, or do you get a lot of nightmares? What are they like?
Oh my god. Well, it's changed throughout my life. Like right now, I would say I get a lot of, like as a kid, dreams used to really mess with my day. Yeah, because I think that when you're a little kid, you're just like really vulnerable and figuring out what reality even is, and like the idea of dreaming and waking up, you're thinking about a lot more during a day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I had like pretty bad nightmares and night terrors growing up, and I didn't realize they were night terrors until someone was like, "That's a night terror," and I was like, "Oh, I thought that was just normal." And then I had some dreams about dismemberment, which were like pretty dark.
Interesting.
Like where I was being dismembered.
Whoa.
And then I've also had like flying dreams, and now I get these dreams where I'm like trying to crack a code. Like that's the common theme dreams where like I'm in a situation, I'm in the house, I'm in a like alternate universe or a world, and there's like a code that I'm trying to crack. I'm often with people, but the squad always changes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like a heist.
I wouldn't even say it's necessarily like sometimes it feels heisty, but like it's more just like I'm trying to figure out how we got to where we are, or I'm trying to like get out of a house, or like an amusement park or something, like and it's an adventure. It's always like really interesting. I can never remember the little details, but like it's a familiar world.
Oh, that's really
When did those start, Russell?
Those started like I would say in the past couple of years. Really? Like I remember having a few when I was like 18, 19, and then yeah, these past couple of years they've really kind of come into the main focus. I also have a partner now, and she shows up in my dreams, and I think that's because we're like COVID bonded, so we're the only people that we've been seeing.
That's so good.
But I think that has more to do with just like processing my day.
Right. Yeah.
So these dreams, how do they end? Do you ever figure out the code, or?
No, it's always a cliffhanger. Usually there's like something really fun or interesting that I'm trying to do. I want to go back to certain places in the dream because I thought that they were beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, it's like I'm totally living on another plane of existence in my sleep.
That's really interesting. Would you call that a reoccurring dream?
I don't know if I would call it like, because I've heard people talk about reoccurring dreams, and I don't know if it like straight up falls into that category, but I would say that it has elements that recur. Like the world is often similar colors and textures. Yeah, there's always sort of this common goal, but I wake up and I forget the details, and then I get back into the dream and I'm like, oh, right, I've been here.
Right,
Yeah, it's so funny.
Do you have one example of those code dreams that you could guide us through?
Well, the code dreams,
or really any dream.
Yeah, okay, because like I said, like I forget the straight up storyline of the code dreams, but I remember things like textures. Like there's like really grassy textures in the dream, but it's not grass. It's almost like, like Treehouse, like the TV network as a kid.
Oh yeah.
So it's got like that kind of fake Treehouse, Sesame Street, Barney grass.
Right.
And then
like turf,
like very deep blues, like a very surreal kind of like Willy Wonka-esque world.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I don't mind when I'm there.
Yeah.
I guess another, like, if I want to go into the darker side, which is like dreams that I remember very vividly, like the dismemberment dreams, and I won't like tell you which limbs, but but usually it's happening when I'm underwater, which I find really interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. It's like I'm being hunted.
By like a big fish
I don't know.
or something?
I know that I get shot with a harpoon gun and then I'm dismembered. It's very unsettling. And I can like feel it in the dream too. It's like very terrifying.
Yeah.
I also have dreams about like spiders a lot, which might be scary for some people, but I don't find it scary.
No? Yeah, I'm terrified of spiders. That would definitely freak me out.
Yeah, but like I didn't actually, like in real life, I see a spider and I'm like, ah! But in my dream, it's like I'm covered in spiders and they're just hanging out and I'm like, how did these get here? Hello, new friends.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome to the shit show.
I wonder why that is. Like why you're not afraid of them in your dreams, but you are in real life.
It's probably a metaphor.
Probably. So I was going to ask you, have you ever found any inspiration through your dreams ever?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I totally have.
I mean, a lot of people do say no to that. So,
really?
I mean, this is a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I find inspiration maybe not in the way that it, well, I mean, like, dreams are so personal. I guess nobody finds inspiration the same way.
If you have found inspirations, like, how has it come about in your dreams?
I dream of melodies sometimes. And cool. Sometimes if I can, like, wake up and, like, be coherent enough in the fugue to just, like, get it out of my head and, like, into the computer or hum it and then come back to it later, then that's really helpful. It kind of happens, like, in between the waking state and falling asleep.
Right.
And that doesn't happen often. That's, like, that, like, I talk about dreaming of melodies all the time, and people are like, wow, that's so interesting. And I think that they think it's, like, this sexy, tortured musician thing where, like, I'm constantly just, like, spewing inspiration. But, like, mostly the melodies are, like, dun 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 dun, like a circus horror show.
Yeah, like a tuba.
Yeah,
tuba
and
solo.
then sometimes it's catchy, and I'm like, I could use that.
Right. Yeah.
So you're saying this is all happening in kind of like an in-between state between dreaming and wake in a waking state. Have you ever been completely in a dream and a melody or something has come to you?
Yes, and do you know what it was?
No.
No, you don't. It was it was just the guitar part to Walk This Way by Aerosmith. It was
nice.
Just that.
Wow. Just that.
Yeah,
just
I
the
like
guitar.
woke up and I was like, wow, that was a very specific thing to.
Yeah.
Because I don't even listen to Aerosmith. I don't like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
It's funny how mainstream music gets in. I found a couple months ago, every time I was waking up, it was immediately 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. It was like would open my eyes and just hear a dun 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 dun.
For many days?
It was just like a straight, like a good like week and a half. Where like that was like the first thing that I thought of when I woke up in the morning.
Can I ask if it was like in the height of quarantine?
It wasn't actually. It was pre-distancing.
That's great when it's Dolly Parton, but there's sometimes where it's a band that you just can't stand that seems to creep in there all the time.
Yes.
And that is so annoying.
We're not going to mention names.
No, Aerosmith. Yeah. But I do want to talk about a couple names because I wanted to go into talk about your music a little bit. And every time that I listen to your music, I hear a lot of different influences. Sometimes I get a hint of Talking Heads, like when I was listening to your song Give It Up today. I was hearing a lot of Talking Heads in there.
Oh, funny.
I've also heard a bit of like 80s David Bowie in like Hello Stranger and Cost of Living. And even like Joy Division has come up sometimes. But like I could keep going and I could keep referencing other acts like Christine and the Queens and so many others. But and I have no idea if you actually like any of these people, but it does make me wonder who does inspire you.
Well, it's like people ask me that and I never know what to say because it's always changing. And I'm also just like a music nerd. I mean, Joce, you've literally toured with me and you know not to hand me the aux cord because it's just like musical ADHD. Like constantly.
Yeah,
I also literally have ADHD. So but I've been deeply influenced by a lot of like going through a lot of different musical phases and doing music research constantly. I wouldn't rule any of those influences out, but like I'm not actually particularly a fan of Bowie.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I've never really like I didn't grow up on his music. I recognize like I don't know. I don't really like Bowie actually.
No. You don't have to.
But,
Nobody's saying you have to.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
Yeah. And people assume that I'm a fan, I think, just because I'm like androgynous and sing pop music.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have assumed that you would have been a fan, but not just because of like being androgynous, but also just like the style of music, I thought.
Well, he's very glam. Like there was a lot of glam rock that I really did like though, like T-Rex. I was really influenced by T-Rex. Laurie Anderson, Peter Gabriel, who else? I was influenced by like Hildegard and a bunch of like Gregorian chants.
Right.
Cause I grew up like being in, I wasn't like a church kid, but my parents were in choirs all the time. So I would be at like every single rehearsal at like St. Mary's Church. Like, I think that there were just a bunch of things that influenced the way that I create and understand music as I hear it. It's like a mosaic of influences.
Yeah.
Not that anyone else doesn't have that. It's just I think that mine is so overloaded that I can never like pin down a few influences. But I guess like maybe that gives some perspective. What?
Yeah, definitely. And you're totally right too, and it definitely happens in my mind too, where it is constantly changing, and I'll find something new that completely changes the way that I look at music and what I want to create. So I want to go back to, you were talking about nobody should hand you an aux cable in the car because you're such a music nerd. And so is that because you're just flipping from song to song all the time, or what is it? What is it about? And maybe Joce could answer this better. I don't know.
I'd say it's like flipping from album to album all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, let's commit to this album, and then, like, the album doesn't fit the mood anymore, and then I'm like, oh, crap, we gotta listen to, like, this Arabic jazz album now. And then everyone's like, dude, what?
Yeah. That's all. It was never a bad thing. It was always just really interesting.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, it was just genre switching, you know? Like, we're, like, one moment we were listening to, like, this kind of, like, indie synth pop dream kind of music, and then the next we would go, like you said, to like Arabian soul jazz. But it's really interesting to see how your mind works trying to fit the mood with different styles of music rather than just like a different song from an artist.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I feel like I've only just understood the art of the playlist I was really resistant to playlists before. I hated them. And now I'm starting to like make good playlists, or at least what I think is good. It's like I like stuff that fits with, like, there's kind of an alchemy to it where, you know, certain songs complement each other, whether or not they're similar, and some don't.
Yeah.
You know, basically just thinking like an algorithm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like making playlists. I was going to say, too, you grew up in the countryside on PEI, near the ocean, and in an interview, I've heard you say that it means a lot to you, and that that environment allows you to reboot. So has your writing process changed a lot since you moved to Montreal, and do you find it now hard to reboot in like a constantly going city?
I mean, the short answer is yes, because I moved to Montreal at the end of February with the intention of like being able to come back to PEI whenever I wanted. And then the giant wave of pandemic death happened in the world. And I can't go back to PEI anymore, which is so weird because I was so looking forward to like being able to go back for a little while and like get that kind of recharge. But it was also the fact that like I moved to Montreal in winter, and immediately I was just like trapped inside in a way that wasn't voluntary. And so that definitely it like all my live shows got canceled. Like that changed the way I make music. But in terms of like figuring out a way to recharge, I'm just like, I'm basically working in the same way. I'm just figuring out different ways to do it, if that makes sense. Like, okay, I can't go and submerge my body in the salt water that I love so much, but I can take the metro down to Verdun and swim in the yucky river. And like at least it's a body of water. At least there's like some nature around.
But
yeah, that's one of my problems with this city is that I'm really homesick for the ocean.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah, I was really betting on being able to make it home sooner.
But your writing process has kind of stayed fairly similar in terms of where a song starts and how it comes into fruition, you know?
Yeah, I just like write on my bed. Like that. That's what I was doing back home anyway. I mean, I don't have like an entire apartment to myself, so I don't have like studio space per se, but I still like work from home, and I have access to a studio space here, which I didn't in PEI. I actually have more resources here despite not being totally like able to use them on a whim. And that undoubtedly influences the songwriting process. I think there's like this like, I think I held on to this idea of like, I'll just work the same way no matter what conditions, and then no. It's nice to have things.
Yeah, it is. But it's also nice to have change, too. I find change really puts you... I mean, obviously, it goes without saying that change puts you in a different place and gives you a new perspective. But I find that can sometimes really help a songwriting process. So you're writing a song, and it starts with lyrics for the most part, or melody and lyrics together, or... You're sitting on your bed writing, like, how does it start for
it's always different. It's always really different. Yeah. I'm never like, I'm gonna write a song now. It's just like, I'm usually just playing on my computer. Like I'm playing on like Ableton or something.
Right. Yeah. And that kind of does come across in your productions too. It's like, it's very hypnotic. It's very driven by the beat itself and the groove, and then everything kind of it stems from that and then builds on itself and keeps building. Usually, I've noticed anyway from listening to your music. Like that's
Hello Stranger for sure, yeah, and Give It Up. I think I'm coming to the place where like I'm trying to really hone in on how I'm making music. Like I let it start however it needs to. I like to just play. I like to just let my mind run free. And sometimes lyrics come with that. Sometimes a melody comes with that. Sometimes I just sit on a backing track for like fucking 6 months or like 2 years and don't touch it. Or sometimes I'll mix and match like vocal melodies from one demo to another because let's face it, pop music is just one scale. So I play with that. But in terms of like actual production style, I am actually just trying to keep it really simple, just not overdo it. I feel like I've released like Hello Stranger particularly, even though it's pretty much it's the same chord progression throughout the entire song, and like most of my songs are. And there is this sort of these hypnotic elements that come in, and I play a lot with like tension and release and just tricks that keep the listener really engaged.
Yep.
I'm really just into having it be really basic, like have the voice be the backbone of the music, and the lyrical content be the backbone of the voice, and have everything else just sort of dance around that.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Like in your music, everything serves the melody and the beat, the melody and the groove, which I really like too. And I find with a lot of, especially pop music, there's just so much going on for the most part.
Exhausting.
It just gets muddy.
It's exhausting to listen to. I just can't. I want to like it. I do. And I understand why people like it. And there is like mainstream pop music that I do like, but I just like, there's something inside of me that just gets so irked by like this, like, it's like being splashed with ice water or something, you know? Like it's just so much stimulation for my poor brain.
That is really, really graphic and very accurate.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you ever interpret your dreams?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I like to, I don't actually talk about my dreams a lot with people because I'm not interested in other people's dreams straight up. Like I'm just not. So I assume that people generally aren't interested in my dreams.
Well, you got two people right here that are.
I know. This is very much a safe space for that. I get it. But I don't know. I find the best way to analyze my dreams is to talk about it with people, though. It's just like I don't really feel like I can be vulnerable enough to talk about it. But usually the dreams that I want to analyze right away are like the heavy dreams that, you know, are clearly telling me something because they're so vivid and get me into my body so much. Like the night terrors I used to have and like all this stuff. And I think that they reveal themselves to me over time if I don't talk about them to people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's also really important to analyze dreams. I think that I should be doing it more than I do. I mean, they want to be listened to, right?
The window to the subconscious.
Yeah, all that.
All that stuff, right. You know.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I've noticed, and I mean, your performance work is always informed by, you know, it's both classical and contemporary physical theater methodology. You incorporate mechanisms of drag, costume, music, sound, movement, and visual art. It seems to me that this is like a perfect cocktail for a music video. And like, I would personally love to see a Russell Louder music video. Is there a reason that you haven't made one yet? Or is there one in the works?
It's mostly just because I've been on the go so much.
Right.
2016 to 2018, I was just touring constantly. So like there was no time. And then in terms of doing a music video, I just like every time I wanted to work with someone, something always ended up falling through, like schedule wise or like, you know, PEI, like there are like,
we got a wedding to go to.
Yeah, just like, yes, we've got a wedding to go to. Exactly. Yeah, sorry, we're having our 5th child.
Yeah.
No, not really.
It's a beach day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was the main thing, is just like it hasn't really lined up properly. And also like if I'm going to do a music video, I want everybody to be properly compensated, and that involves a lot of planning ahead and a lot of funding. And it's definitely something that's on the radar. I would love to do a music video soon. Maybe I can figure out some way to have like a COVID music video. I just like I know how much work it is, and I don't want to do it. I want to play a role in the like in the concept and the artistic direction. That's really important. I think it's also like finding a director who like I could have my concepts and bring an artistic idea to the table and have that be a collaborative process, like finding someone who isn't too precious about stuff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's key.
There's someone that I was talking to in PEI who I really want to work with, and hopefully that lines up.
Have you ever had a lucid dream?
Yeah. Like the dream where you
nice.
like know that you're dreaming and you try to do stuff in it.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. I didn't like try to have a lucid dream. It just kind of happened. Where I was like, I'm dreaming, which means I can probably fly right now. And then I ended up flying in the dream.
Nice. That's what I did in my lucid dream, too.
Oh, sick. Dude, we should have like a social distance flying dream hangout.
Yeah, I wish. I don't know how to do shared dreams. There's a couple people that have come on the show so far that have talked about. It's like a Zoom
call, but like for the psyche.
Yeah. Nobody's ever sent me a password for it, though, so I couldn't.
I forgot mine.
So, in the past, your music has revolved around themes of identity, grief, and romance. And you said
really
previously...
romance. I don't know why I wrote that it was a
okay.
So, yeah, like never... I don't think I've... Oh, well, no. Give It Up is sort of romantic, but...
I was gonna say, I was like, hold on.
Yeah. But like that was sort of, it's like also like the most shallow or like surfacey song I've ever written. So
yeah, I feel please correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of your music is kind of like anti-romance. It's kind of like on the opposite end of things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Hello Stranger is ultra existential. That like I just wrote that when I was just like doing a lot of therapy, and it was like, who am I? And then Light of the Moon was about a person who was causing harm to a person I loved, or like loved like a pal.
Right.
And then oh yeah, Cost of Living was like also just an existential power ballad.
Fuck capitalism, yeah.
Well, no, it's not about capital. I mean, I guess it could be about capitalism. No, it's like
no, it's about
super
Airbnbs.
Emo. Yeah,
it's a double
it's
entendre.
about touring.
Yeah, yeah, it's about rent prices and PEI.
No, but the thing that I was trying to get at was in the past, you said that the themes that you've been writing about have gotten maybe a little bit stale, or you want to move away from them a little bit. And have you been doing that? Have you been successful in moving in a new direction?
I think when I said that, I was being really self-critical. When I said that, I wasn't taking into account that I'm allowed to just examine my demons. That's okay. Yep. I can allow my work to do that. So this body of work that I'm kind of finishing up right now is, kind of going into that, into like exploring the sort of pieces of mental furniture that are kicking around that maybe needed dusting off, and sort of setting that stuff free. But I think that I have this habit of being a really, really mean critic to myself. It's very Virgo. Not to make it about astrology, but like it's super Virgo bullshit.
I have that too.
Yeah.
Virgo.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be gentler with myself and like not knock my ideas down before they even build into something. Because I think also when I said that, I was definitely at an earlier stage with this body of work where like I just didn't know what it was turning into. And now that it's kind of starting to show its shape a little more, I'm like, wow, that was important that I did that. Yeah. So
you write what you know and what you're dealing with at a specific time. And I mean, like if that keeps coming up and up, maybe it's, just because it's an important topic that needs to be discussed.
Yeah. It's almost like I think it's almost more self-indulgent to like over critique myself than it is to just make the damn music and move on,
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to just sit around being like, but it doesn't serve the greater multiverse. Like, what?
Yeah. You're writing songs for the multiverse now?
Yes, I'm writing songs for the multiverse, and you can quote me on that.
Great.
Incredible.
That sounds like an amazing album title.
Hell
I'm just
yeah.
saying. Songs for the Multiverse is like a Stevie Wonder record or something.
Oh my God.
That's wicked. Russell, you gotta get on that. You gotta take that, copyright that immediately.
Yeah. Well, it's recorded now. We can put a timestamp on this and it's gold.
Yep.
So so you're working on a new record, obviously.
Yes.
And how are you feeling about the material now? Are you've come full circle back to accepting the music that you're making?
Yeah.
And are you happy with the product now and where it's going?
Yes. It's still like everything is recorded. Well, almost everything. There's still like a few little percussion diddles that I want to do.
Ear candy stuff.
Like it's a body of work that I've been working on since, some of the songs are from when I first started making music in 2016.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And then some of the songs were written like this year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an arc of development in the album, and then there's an arc of just like time.
Do you find it hard to stitch those songs together after 4 years of working on it? Like,
no, they're all talking to each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
So interesting. Yeah, that's like what's really cool about it. That was kind of what turned it around, and I stopped being such a dick to myself of like this, like watching where I was here versus where I am here. Like some of the songs, like the earlier songs sound so vulnerable and innocent, and like it's the original recordings. Like it's really like just out there.
Right.
I didn't like, even listening to one of the songs from 2016, like I was still figuring out my vocal style. I didn't, there was so much about myself that I didn't know at that point. Yeah, I don't know. It's really cool.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
Man, we're all stoked.
Yeah, because I've been watching your career path and your growth from when you started in 2016. And I don't know what year it was. It was either 2017 or 2016 when I played a show at the Mac and you opened for me.
That was, I think that was that 20. That might have been 2018, Dylan.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think
but even
no, it was 2017. It was late 2017.
Yeah. So
Shit.
even from that time, when I, seeing you then and seeing you now, you've just grown so much. And not, you were amazing before, but yeah, I've just watched.
Well, I mean, I worked my ass off to get better. Like it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It shows. It really shows. And so I was gonna ask, I've seen you do, solo sets. I've seen you do duo sets and sets with a full band. And do you have a preference on where you think your live show is going to go with this new record? Is it going to be a band thing or what do you picture?
It'll be a band thing. I mean, it's also it'll be a band thing if the aliens don't come and kill us all. That's kind of where I'm at. Because all my shows for 2020 have been canceled. Then maybe start rehearsals to have live performances, not streaming performances, but just have some live videos to show people what we can do when the time comes that we are all united once more. I'm thinking a 5-piece band, which makes me want to throw up. Because it's so much to think about. When I think about all these big artists that have I remember someone, who was it? It was a mainstream pop artist, and they were yeah, my MD, and I was what's an MD? And I Google it. It's a musical director, and I was I need one of those because I've been doing that, and it can be really. I mean, it usually is really. It is rewarding and wonderful, but also I kind of just wish I could show up.
Yeah.
Everybody else, that's honestly, kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, no, I've been feeling that too. I've been doing a lot more, Kinley has been playing more shows. Yeah. And in doing that, I've been doing more side musician gigs and slots. Yeah. And it is so refreshing to show up with parts, and you don't have to worry about who's in the band. You don't have to worry about people showing up on time. All you have to do is show up with your instrument, knowing your parts, and you did your job. Yep. And it's so refreshing. Yep. And I'm too much of a control freak too to actually give up any control.
I just want to have my cake and eat it too, or I want to have my cake and control it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
But c'est la vie.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of the interview now.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
No.
Yeah,
Jesus.
It goes fast. It goes pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh my God.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Who said that?
So, I usually end these things by getting a little philosophical.
Gross.
Gross? Did you say gross? That's the right reaction, I think. Yeah. I think a bit of disgust is okay when it comes to philosophy. But anyway, the question is, why do you think we dream?
Why do I think we dream? I think there are many reasons, and I think it depends on the dream. And I think it depends on the person's life experience.
Yeah.
I think the reason I dream is because my brain is processing things that I've gone through. I think my brain is trying to tell me things that I already know about myself, but maybe don't want to.
Yeah. Hidden truths.
And I think that good, wonderful, happy dreams can be this blissful reward that usually tell me where I'm at in life.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe when I pay more attention to my dreams and start looking at them more than I already have, I'll have a different answer for that question. But yeah, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah.
That's why philosophy is stupid. Cool. All right. Well, that is all the questions that I have for you. Russell, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online?
The internet. No, sorry. That was so sassy. You can find me. My name is Russell Louder Russell with 2 L's at the end of the name, and louder, like quieter, and it's like all one word. So it's Russell Louder on Instagram, Russell Louder on Facebook. Twitter is where my anecdotes go to die. And and what else? There's another platform. I have TikTok, but I never use it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, my mom uses it. My mom uses TikTok.
Oh,
Cool.
good old Regina.
Regina. Yeah, she she was telling me about the gardening videos that she watches. She's like, there's a great gardening community. And why do people do that Drake shuffle dance? I was like, I don't know, Mom.
What's your mom's TikTok handle?
I actually don't know. Isn't that awful? I don't use TikTok. Otherwise, I'd totally plug it. Like, go
last
follow
name
me.
last name Louder, mom of Russell Louder, maybe. I don't know.
That's like what she does. And she's like, I'm Russell's mom. I am Russell's mom. In case anybody was, hello, I'm Russell's mom. Like, she's very.
Russell's my kid.
Yeah. It's really
That's
cute.
so good. That's awesome. Supportive parents are the best.
Yeah. Yep. Lucky.
Well, thank you so much, Russell. This has been a treat, a real
Thank you
treat.
for having
Yeah.
me. And it's nice to like talk to you guys or talk at you guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
talk-
oh my God.
yeah, talk
I've
with-
been missing you like
talking with
crazy.
us.
Yeah. You guys are the best.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
And we're out. Dear Dreamers, thank you so much for listening. You can rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts, and don't forget to subscribe to the Lost in Dreams podcast wherever you're listening from. Make sure to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Dylan Menzie to find out how you can get access to bonus content, merch, music, and more. Every dollar is so appreciated, so from the bottom of my heart, thank you. This show is produced by yours truly, and the music is from my newest record, Lost in Dreams, which you can stream anywhere right now. If you have a dream you want us to know about, send me an email at menzie.dylan@gmail.com and your dream could be featured on the show. Thank you to the Canada Council of the Arts for supporting this project, and I'll see you next week.